everyone, and welcome back to my channel, The Crafting Chemist. Today we are going to be looking at basically the beginning stitches that you are going to most likely use or will use for Tunisian crochet. We're going to be looking at the foundation stitch, the simple Tunisian stitch, or Tunisian simple stitch, excuse me, and the bind off. What you're going to need for today is you're going to need yarn and a Tunisian hook. I'd recommend using a hook that is significantly bigger than what your yarn requires. That's just to help prevent curling of your finished product. And then scissors to finish off. Now to start, you are going to want to complete a slip knot. If you're not familiar with how to do that, you're going to form a loop as shown. You're going to flip it over. Then you are going to grab like so to create that slip knot, which you'll then put on your needle and pull tight. If you're familiar with crocheting, we are now going to do the chain stitch, and that is basically where you're going to yarn over from the back and you are going to pull through your original loop, and you're just going to keep doing that for as many stitches as you need for your project or just to practice. I would highly recommend just practicing your tension, keeping a consistent tightness so you don't have a bunch of tight stitches or a bunch of loose stitches kind of going back and forth. Also try to keep your these pretty stable and not having it twist, because that can cause the chain in of itself to twist, and then you've got a mixture of front and back chains. I think that's pretty good for today's purposes. Okay, so if you look at your chain, you've got three pieces basically. You have your top, your middle, and your bottom yarns on each of these chain stitches. And what you're going to do is you have a front and a back, and we're going to be working off the back in what is known as the foundation row. And so with that, we're going to skip this first chain and go into the second one. And like I told you, there is a top, middle, and bottom. And with that, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better. We're going to go into that second one. We're going to go into under that middle loop, like so, yarn over and pull through. We're going to go to our next stitch and do the same thing. Go through or underneath that middle stitch. And this one is being stubborn. And you are going to go do that for each of the stitches until all the chains have had a loop picked up. When you are done with that, it should look something like this, and you will be ready for the return pass. And to do that, we are going to yarn over and pull through one, and then from here on out all the way to the end we're going to yarn over and pull through two, and we're just going to do that until you've reached the end and you have only one loop over your hook remaining. And that is your foundation row. So this is basically, you're going to start most projects like this, and so what I'm going to do from here is we're going to look at the Tunisian simple crochet. And to do that, I am going to, you have here, you can see in each stitch you have two loops, a front and a back, all the way down. We're going to ignore this first one here, and we're going to go into the front loop of this stitch, this second one from the hook, and bring up a loop. Go through the next one through the front bar, yarn over, pull through. And we are going to do that all the way across until we get to the last stitch. Then once you get through to the last stitch, you have three here. we're going to go through these outermost two like that. Grab a loop and pull through. The return pass is going to be the same here as for the foundation row. You're going to yarn over, pull through one, and then all the way back you are going to be yarning over and pulling through 2 stitches. Once you have created several rows, it should look something like this. And at this point, if you wanted to finish off, you could cut the yarn and then weave in your ends. However, as you can see on that top row, you have some gaps. And so what we're going to do to mitigate that is we're going to do something called a bind off. And it's very similar to the Tunisian crochet, where you're going to skip this first stitch and go into the second one, yarn over, pull through one. However, we're going to then pull through that previous stitch, go into the next one, yarn over, and then pull through. And that kind of just gives a nice clean finished edge along the top while helping to mitigate there being that gap there. So now you can see that gap is gone. You have a nice finished top that looks like the end of a knitted project. And at this point, you can use your scissors to cut here or give yourself a little bit of a tail to weave in your ends. But yeah, those are some of the basic techniques that you're going to need to get started on Tunisian crochet. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. And you can check out my other videos in order to learn more stitches, both for Tunisian crocheting and knitting. So thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye!